headed to Middlebury, Coachman. I was originally going to do my long run today, but my wife's got a late night, so I'm going to do my shortest run of the week, which is up to Slinger, Wisconsin. So I'm going to pick, I did get a late start today. We did get the snow. Today's Thursday, the 13th of February, and we did get probably like 4 or 5 inches of snow in Chicagoland yesterday and all the way down here into Indiana. It's actually still snowing here. It's hard to see. It's like a light snow coming down, but I don't know that it's really going to accumulate to anything. I'm about 45 minutes out from Middlebury. Seems like Indiana got about the same amount of snow as Chicagoland. I do think maybe to the north by like the Wisconsin border, they might have got some more snow, but I expect everything will probably be clear all the way driving today. I did see a few accidents going north as I was headed down here to Indiana, but hopefully, because there was a lot of traffic from that, a couple accidents coming into Chicago, that should be all cleared up by the time I start headed back that way. So hopefully, as long as nothing else happens, no other accidents occur, I should have a decent drive through Chicago. But I think I'm picking up a pretty large Coachman unit, just based off the model number. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I believe it's probably going to be 30 plus feet. Not really a lot, like it's a little bit windy, but nothing too bad, so hopefully that stays up. Hoping for uneventful drive. I got to get this chunk of snow off of my truck. I thought it would break loose just driving down the highway, but it's pretty frozen. For a little bit there, I wasn't getting any windshield wiper fluid coming through, but that made its way through eventually, which is good. I didn't realize, because my hood was kind of snow covered, and I didn't realize how solid it was by the windshield wipers. So once I stop to pick up the camper, I'm going to knock that loose, try to free up the windshield wiper fluid a little bit more. If you're not aware, that is something that if you get DOT inspected, they're going to check to make sure that you have windshield wiper fluid and it works. So I mean, mine I would probably pass right now because I'm getting windshield wiper fluid coming through to clean my windshield, but it's a little bit obstructed, so definitely going to get that cleaned up. And I have like a chunk of ice on one of my windshield wipers, so it's kind of making an annoying noise, so I'm going to break that loose. Other than that, pretty good. I got a late start today because I slept in a little bit, and then I shoveled off the driveway again this morning. I did it last night, but it kind of snowed. I don't know what time in the middle of the night it stopped snowing by me, but it was still snowing around midnight, so I was already in the house for the night. So I just did it this morning, and then had to brush off the cars and move my wife's car around for her and stuff like that. So then I went to the gym. So I got a late start. I didn't roll out from my area until about 8 a.m. But luckily, going up to Slinger is a little bit shorter run. I should still make it home by like, I don't know, 5 p.m. I would guess, somewhere in that area. So as long as I can find, sometimes Coachman can be a little bit time consuming getting your camper, so we'll see what lot, if I can find it easy, if I can get it hooked up easy. They probably didn't plow anything, so I'll have to maybe put it in 4-wheel. I will say that's a little bit of a disadvantage to having like highway tires. They don't perform as well in like the deeper snow. I think it was one of the last times I was at Coachman and I was out in the back lot. I did have to get it put in 4-wheel drive to get out. Before doing this job, I always ran like a fairly aggressive all-terrain tire, just due to snowmobiling and stuff, and it feels like if you're a snowmobiler and you're kind of chasing snow, I always say like usually once a year I would get stuck driving in a pretty rough snowstorm pulling the trailer and stuff, and I always wanted to have semi-aggressive tires that were decent in the snow. I have Falken Wild Peaks right now. I'll say they're not the highway tire. They're not great in the snow. I don't know that I'm gonna find a highway tire that is good in the snow that's gonna produce a decent mile per gallon. My favorite tires that I've had as far as like snow performance, as well as like wet, dry, road noise, like wear and tear, like my absolute favorite tire I've had is Cooper Discoverer all-terrains. So I think when these go bad, if the Coopers aren't, I would imagine the Falkens and the Coopers, they're usually pretty competitively priced. I'll probably try like a Cooper highway tire. The wear on these tires, now obviously, like when you're towing, you're gonna wear the rear tires out more, so like you gotta keep them rotating and stuff. But the wear on these tires so far, it's not terrible, but I'm not like super impressed. I would guess these are gonna be somewhere like in a 50 to 60,000 mile tire. They were brand new when I bought the truck. I've put just over 20,000 miles on it, so just the visual wear from a little over 20,000 that I've put on it, I'm guessing I'm gonna probably get in that 50, 60,000 mile range, which is fine, which is pretty good. But hopefully, if I can find a tire that will produce like 75,000 miles, that would be nice, because otherwise I'm going to be replacing at 50 to 60,000. You might be, depending on how much you're running with RV transport, you could be replacing tires twice a year, because it's pretty easy. I can see where it's going to be pretty easy to accumulate like 100,000 miles in a year doing RV transport. And guys that run like really hard, I would say, you could put 150,000 plus on a truck if you're running 5-6 days a week. Because I'm only running like 3 to 4 days a week, and in 3 months I've put just over 20,000 miles on. So, if you just times that by 4 for the 12-month period, you're talking, a little over 80,000 miles. If you're a little bit more consistent with 5 days a week or so, you're gonna rack up some miles. I guess so. That's a question that I would like to put out there, is like, if you're a transporter, you do RV transport or just hot shot in general, what tires have you found that last and produce like a decent mile per gallon, and I guess just aren't like absolutely horrible in the snow? So if you have any answers to that, I'd like to hear about what tires you found that are decent. And also, I guess price would play into that as well. Like, if you're spending $1,000 on tires that get you 60,000 miles, I don't want to spend $2,000 on tires that are going to get me 75,000 miles, because at that point you're not ahead, you're behind. So all that kind of plays a factor into it. I'd like to hear what people's opinions are. I'm probably not going to do like a all-terrain tire, just because I'm not looking to lose the mile per gallon. I guess if it ever came down to it, one thing I could do is swap to like a better all-terrain tire, like a Cooper Discoverer all-terrain, just in the winter months, and then swap back to the summer tires, or just get like a separate set of wheels or something. That may be something like, I could look at. But the last couple of winters have been so mild. This is really like one of our first snowfalls of the year, and it's already February. So last year we had like almost no snow. They've been so mild that you could easily like do what I did yesterday, where it was like, I'm just not gonna run because we're getting snow all day. So and it really only started snowing here now, like in like in the description or in the title. I don't know yet. I'll figure that out. Just to kind of, for myself, because I really wasn't keeping track. And I'm also going to try to do a better job keeping track of the total revenue or income, gross income that I'm accumulating throughout 2025, and just like in total since starting RV transport. So I think I'm going to get like some kind of like notepad, or maybe I'll just do it in my notes section on my phone. But because when I made that last video for the 3 months RV transport, how much money did I make, I just had to go manually through and look at all my BOLs and stuff and figure that out. And I don't want, I mean, I guess for like 2025 I could wait till I get my 1099 and then produce a video for you guys on that. But I think I want to be able to show the progress throughout the year at like random checkpoints, whether it be 3 months, 6 months. So I'm gonna try to find a better way to record that, so it's easy information for me to gather for the future. And then if anybody asks randomly, I can produce that as well. This load pays, I don't know if I already mentioned it, but this load pays $500. It's one of the shorter runs that we do, so you know, obviously not like a high paying. I think the one that I'm doing tomorrow, I want to say it pays like $770, so it's one of the higher paying ones that I do. I think because I'm going to Fox Valley, I think the highest paying one I've done is around like 800, which is out to La Crosse, Wisconsin. I've only been out there once. I've only been to this Fox Valley once. It does make for a fairly long day, but I may not run any this weekend, so if that's the case, I'm glad I'm getting a higher paying load to increase my total revenue for the week, or gross for the week, because I may only end up running the 3 loads, and I'm still going to be like right around that $1,800 range, which, you know, if you're only working 3 days out of the week, $1,800, I feel like that's pretty decent. Like, I had the flexibility this week to be home. My daughter had a doctor's appointment Monday, so I went to that and then just stayed home. And then with the snow on Wednesday, I stayed home. So that's one thing, you know, and like my older daughter, her school got canceled yesterday because of the snow. So like my wife and I were kind of talking about that, how it is nice to have that flexibility for myself to be able to just take that day off, not really have to like ask anybody, and still be able to make a decent amount of money. And then my wife was still able to go to work and stuff like that. You know, she didn't have to miss any day, use a vacation day or anything to stay home with the kids. So, because when the weather's bad, I don't want my sitters, which are my mother-in-law and my mom, I don't want them. They both live about an hour away from me, and I don't want them driving in the bad weather. So that's kind of, when you're thinking about getting into RV transport, do know that the flexibility is nice. You're not punching a time clock. You're not requesting a day off or calling in sick or anything like that. You know, if you've got a hot load, you're kind of expected to take that load. But at the same time, and my dispatcher has said this before too, is like, you know, he gets it. Like if you're like, you're gonna have things come up. Like kids are gonna get sick. You're gonna get sick. You're gonna have truck issues at some point. Like there's gonna be a time when you have a load that is gonna get delayed for one reason or another. But you know, and at least with the company that I'm leased down with, he's good about, you know, letting you know if it's a hot load or an expected load. That way you can kind of plan for it and get it moving. Otherwise, you know, the way that it works out is usually on Monday we'll talk. I'll tell him how many loads I'm planning on running for the week, and you know, as long as the work's there, he'll send it over to me, and it's kind of up to me to figure out how I'm going to get it done from Monday to Sunday. You know, and that would be the expectation, is if you say you're going to do 3 to 4 loads or whatever, and they send 3 loads or 4 loads, you got to get it done that week. Now, that's where it comes up, like, if something comes up, obviously, you just let them know. But, you know, you're kind of planning out your week. Like, if you know you're going to have a hectic week, you're just going to say, hey, I can only do 2 loads or 3 loads or whatever. That's all you're going to get put on your plate. You can always ask for more later. But, you know, just understanding what you can handle in a week and working that out the best. So, but yeah, I think that's probably an underrated or under talked about part of RV transport is just, you know, the flexibility that it gives you to be able to have a good work-life balance or, you know, flexible schedule. It is nice to be able to do that. You know, it's nice to be able to work on the weekend if you want to. Obviously, like, I prefer to not work on the weekends, even though I do oftentimes run a load on the weekends. I'd rather be home with my wife and my kids or whatever, but it is nice to be able to, like, on a week like this week where we had a snow day and stuff, it's nice to be able to flex over and grab a load or something for the weekend and still make decent money. I know when I was working in manufacturing, a lot of my overall income, I relied on overtime. So then when I would take like a week to go on vacation and it was just a 40-hour pay, you realize like how little you were actually getting paid because you weren't getting that overtime for the week. Now, I mean, you're still getting something, whereas like with a 1099 position like RV transport, if you take a week off, you're just not making any money. But, you know, it's nice to have that flexibility for sure. I'll do a video walk around once I figure out what camper I'm getting. I may do one just driving around in the plant area to try to find it. We'll see how hard it is to find. Alright, we got this Coachman. A little bit, I don't think I've ever pulled this one before. It's got a rear door here, outside speaker system. Everything looks good on it. I don't see any issues. But yeah, like I said, it's a little bit different. I like that it has a little hookup for a leash for the dogs. Put my plate on. It's got a slide here. It's a little smaller than I thought it was going to be. I was thinking it was going to be 30 plus feet based off the model number. Looks like a little bit of insulation or something coming out there. It's actually, let's get it to focus in, 56-51 dry weight. Length is 28 foot 2 inches. So I was expecting 30 plus. Got the battery all hooked up. Everything's on, good to go. It's very snowy, windy, cold here. I don't know what the temp is. Let's see. 27 degrees, but I'll tell you what, it feels quite a bit colder than that. Just with the wind and stuff. But yeah, got this thing hooked up. It's going up to Slinger, Wisconsin. I do think that they got more snow here than Chicagoland, and it's still snowing here. Chicagoland, it was not snowing, so just a little bit. The parking lots here, they don't plow them, I don't think. So just keep in mind if you're coming to Coachman, have good tires or 4-wheel drive, because if you're two-wheel drive, getting this out of here, you might have fun with that. I've had one time I did have to use 4-wheel drive to get out of the back lot here because it was like snowy and up a hill. So like I said, if you don't have 4-wheel drive, maybe don't come on a day like today. Although this snow, it's supposed to stay pretty cold, so this snow will probably stick around for a little while, I would guess. And I think we're supposed to get some more snow Friday, Saturday. So yeah, definitely I know there's guys out there running two-wheel drive RV transporters. Probably get better gas mileage that way, but you might find you got to be careful with situations you're in and make sure you have decent tires. I'm gonna jump out because I see the sewage cap. I forgot to put that on there. It's hanging down. Okay, so we're back on the road, headed to Slinger, Wisconsin. Got a little bit under 4-hour drive ahead. It's 11:45 Middlebury time, 10:45 Wisconsin time. So should put me up there about 2:45 p.m. And usually that's a pretty quick process with the inspection there. So I'm hoping to be home by 5 o'clock. Be nice. 9-hour day, $500, 9 hours. That's the goal. Probably burn through about $100 in fuel. I'm not gonna stop here in Middlebury. I've got 65% fuel, so I'll make it up to Wisconsin, no problem. Probably make it up to delivery before I need to fill up. So ideally, I'll drop and then fill up. We'll kind of see how that goes. I already had a little bit of an issue after I went through security. I was pulling out of the parking lot and noticed the door was swinging. I knew I locked it. It was still locked even though it was swinging. So I kind of gave her a little bit more of a nudge when I shut it. Hopefully it'll stay closed. This is not the first time I've had an issue with a Coachman and the door's not staying closed, unfortunately. With it being like wet and snowy, the tape probably, because normally I would tape it closed if that's the case, tape's probably not going to hold it. So we'll keep an eye on it. Hopefully it doesn't become an issue. Hopefully just giving it more of a nudge this time will be enough for it to stay closed. But I'm going to keep an eye on it, make sure we don't have an issue with it. The only downside is that the door is kind of like way in the back of this camper. It's a rear access, not rear access, but towards the back. So it might be a little hard to see it. I got my mirrors extended out though. I'm pretty sure I can see it if it starts swinging. I may just pull over in a little bit and check on it. But that one actually went pretty quick. This is the first time I can remember where they actually told me what lot, what row it was in. Usually they just tell you like what building, and then you kind of got to go around the building and find it. But she said, it's in the rear lot, middle row. So that was pretty nice. That was probably the quickest I've ever made it in and out of Coachman. It was under a half hour. So hook up and everything, security on the road. So that's been good. One issue that I'm having is my signs for my DOT numbers. They're magnets, and what I did was I bought the metal brackets that go on the window, and then because the company I run for isn't one of like the big companies out here in Indiana, they don't have like pre-made signs or a template for them, so I just taped my magnets to the aluminum signs holders. And the couple weeks ago when we had like 51-mile-an-hour wind up in Wisconsin, the sign grabbed some wind and like pulled up and bent, and I just can't get it to lay flat anymore, so it doesn't stay like tucked underneath because usually what you do is you tuck it underneath the window trim, like the rubber, and now it just doesn't really stay, so it's kind of like flapping in the wind. So it's not necessarily my DOT magnet that's an issue, it's the metal sign from Signs of the Times right here in Elkhart. So I'm gonna have to I'm gonna try to bend it back one more time, and if that doesn't work, I'm gonna have to probably buy another one because I think eventually it's gonna get too bent up and get weak because it's just aluminum. So I'm also thinking if anybody that does RV transport, and probably mostly guys with Fords with aluminum that the magnets don't stick to, like what are you guys doing to show your DOT numbers. I seen some stuff mounted to a bedside. I don't know. I have to look more into that. I don't know exactly what it is, or if I see a guy with it, maybe I'll stop and ask him. But I don't know if it kind of looks like it might be a system that like clamps on the side, and then I wouldn't be able to use my bed cover. I wouldn't want to do that because it like sticks up the side of the bed. So I'm guessing it clamps, and it's like a piece of steel that you can run the magnet on. So I'm just trying to figure out what I can do. Ideally get away from like the window thing, because I like when it was super windy and it ripped it out from the window trim where it holds it down, like it kind of tore my window trim a little bit as well, like the rubber. So I don't really want to make that worse or keep having that issue either. So like I said, if anybody's got an idea of how they run their, I guess it would also not just be RV transporters, but like hot shotters that are using aluminum body Fords, like how are you displaying your DOT numbers? I don't want to do like a decal that's permanent on the truck, because I do use this for I use it for my personal use too, so I'd like to avoid throwing that on there. But I guess like worst comes to worst, if that happens, it happens. I did get this chunk of snow off. It's kind of like there's a bunch of loose snow sitting on there, but it should blow off once I get on the highway here. So far this door has stayed closed now, so I think maybe it just needed to be closed a little harder. I think that's a common issue with campers actually, because my personal camper is an Eddie Bauer, Heartland Eddie Bauer, and I just bought it last year, and I had a ton of issues with keeping that door closed. Not necessarily while driving, because once it locked, it would close. But like if you're at the campsite and you just want to close the door, it doesn't like to stay closed. It like pops itself open. So I don't know if it's something with like the door or the trim and but you have to keep it locked in order for the door to not want to like pop open. So maybe that's just an issue with campers in general. But I'm gonna probably, unless anything happens, I probably won't do any more filming until maybe drop off or after drop off. So that's it for this video for now. So I don't know why a lot of truckers do this. I mean, I guess I do know why. They're running in to go to the bathroom or get stuff or whatever, but they pull up so somebody else can fuel up. But now I am completely blocked in. As you can see, there's tons of semi-truck parking up above, up front there. So I don't know why I don't just pull up and go park in the parking spots, because now he's holding me up, and I'm holding up this pump now. Nobody can pull in behind me, and it's super busy right now at this fuel station. So kind of sucks. I think I know what the driver looks like. I think I saw him, so I might go inside and tell him to get moving or something, because I'm sure there's going to be a line forming behind me. Okay, I'm almost back home, and did get that camper dropped. It's a little later than I anticipated, because when I stopped for fuel, I had a line that I had to wait to get in, and then once I filled up, the trucker in front of me was there and I couldn't leave. So I lost about a half hour sitting at the gas station, but I didn't have much of a choice, because with the wind, it was pretty much 30-mile-an-hour winds all day, or the gusts of wind anyway, and I was just, my mile per gallon wasn't great, and I had got down to like 11%. I would have made it to the drop, but I think my fuel light would have came on, and then I would have had to try to make it like another 10-15 miles back towards home in order to use my open roads card, because the fuel station that's right there at that exit doesn't accept it. So I probably would have been paying 20-30 cents a gallon extra. However, I would have done that if I would have known I was gonna have to wait that long at the fuel station, but it is what it is. But yeah, so I lost some time there, and then now I was doing good. I'm about 15 miles from my house now, and just dealing with heavy traffic. So this is an area that gets traffic a lot, but it's much worse today. I don't know why, so I don't know if there was an accident or if I'm coming up on one. But typically I don't start getting like the slow moving or dead stop traffic for probably like another 8 miles. So I'm hitting it now, and I'm guessing that's probably why the drive is taking longer than I expected, because it was about 2 hours 20 minutes home when it should have been under 2 hours. I think when I checked earlier, it was like an hour 50 or hour 45. So and I really haven't hit too much traffic, like coming by Milwaukee and stuff. It wasn't bad, but I have a feeling I'm going to be sitting in this traffic for the rest of the way home. But it is what it is. I'll be home about 5:30. I left this morning at 8 a.m. out of my town, so ends up being about 9.5 hours, $500. Not great, not terrible. I do have that long run tomorrow up to Fox Valley. And unfortunately right now, when I'm picking up from the manufacturers like I am, I end up having to go a little bit further than our storage lot. So I'm probably losing like another 45 minutes total, because it's like 15 to 20 minutes further from my deadhead to get to the camper travel trailer, and then you add that 15 to 20 minutes going back towards the dealerships. So I end up losing about 45 minutes when I pick up from the manufacturer, and then maybe even a little bit more, because typically picking up at manufacturer takes a little bit longer than picking up at our storage lot, because when I go to our storage lot, I don't have to talk to anybody. All the paperwork's inside the camper. I grab it, hook it up, go. For example, like today I have to go through security at Coachman. They tell me where I'm going. There's many different lots. You got to go find the camper. Today wasn't bad. I was in and out in less than a half hour. The place that I'm going tomorrow, I got to go to one building, pick up the paperwork, and then drive to a separate storage lot that's down the road. So probably, I think I could still get that done in a half hour, but I could probably do at our storage lot, I could probably, if I really hustle, I can be in and out in 15 minutes. So again, so call it 10, 15 extra minutes doing it this way, as long as everything goes smooth. I've had it take over an hour extra picking up manufacturer. Like if you have to go to Forest River, so far that's been the worst, because a lot of time what'll happen is you go pick up the paperwork, and I've had it be another half hour drive to go pick up the camper and then head out. So it's just part of the job, but anytime I can pick up at our storage lot, I'm much happier. But I think we kind of depleted that lot of what we had there, so I had to start picking up manufacturer, which is fine. Like I said, it just takes a little bit longer. But yeah, tomorrow going up to Fox Valley, I'm kind of expecting that to be like a 13-hour day, because I want to say it's about 400 miles, close to 400 miles from where I'm picking up to go drop off the camper, and then I'll have my deadhead home and my deadhead to the camper. So probably like a 700-mile day. I'll still be able to get it done within my logs, but it'll be tight. Like I've done this delivery once, and I was basically out of time as I was pulling into my neighborhood. So, but I did deal with like some ice last time. There was an ice storm. So I'm hoping weather-wise I don't have any issues tomorrow. If everything goes smooth, maybe I can do it in less than 13 hours total for the day. 11 hours drive. But definitely get it done. It's just going to be a little bit longer day. And, but yeah, see how it goes. I'll make a video on that tomorrow. I'm picking up the same camper I picked up earlier in the week. I can't remember what the name of it was, but I want to say it's like 33 or 34 feet long, around 7,000 pounds, 6,700, something like that. So it's not a small camper. I won't be moving fast with it, but we'll get it up there hopefully before they close, get it all checked in. I've never gone through the check-in process of Fox Valley because the last time I delivered there was they were closed, so I did the night drop. But tomorrow I should be getting there, and I should be doing the full inspection. So we'll kind of see how it goes. I'm gonna try to get out early. I'll probably even skip the gym in the morning and just leave out and go straight to getting the camper. That way I don't lose any time, and I can get home at a halfway decent time. I'm gonna try to get to bed early tonight, get a good night's sleep, because it is kind of exhausting driving long distances. Probably bring 2 energy drinks just in case, but I'm sure I'll be pretty tired by the time I roll in tomorrow, especially doing back-to-back days. But we'll see how it goes.